Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be. And welcome back to the HCW channel, and welcome back to HCW Show Squared, the show that is your format or formula of the HCW Show podcast and expanded the power of, you guessed it, 2. I'm your host, as always, Dan, DP, or as you all say nowadays, DpuizY, yeah. And I'm joined by no one. Once again, I'm joined by no one. This is one of those solo episodes. But it's with that in mind that it's actually quite a good thing this week because a couple of changes. Firstly, you'll see on the bottom of the screen there, Blue Sky is now part of the regular thing, and so is TikTok. TikTok I don't post the podcast stuff on, but there's different like talking points and lists and whatever. Like all kinds of concepts are on there, and are going to be on there. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. 0 views or 10 views. But yeah, also this is going to be the first episode that I attempt, at least, to put it onto podcast platforms in, Spotify, Deezer, like Apple Music, etc. Like, let's see if that exposure helps us more and make it more of an audio experience as well as just a visual experience. Of course, if you are listening audio-wise, you can find everything on YouTube under the HCW Show. That is the HCW Show. We have been going for about 3 or 4 years at this point. It is just me now. At one point, it wasn't me at all. But yeah, this is going to be hopefully a new concept going forward, a new way of running things going forward, and yeah, without any further ado, I believe that's all the admin out of the way, so we should just get into the point of the episode. Episode 76? I forgot what this is. This is episode 76. Also, for the audio listeners, I will try to upload old episodes too onto the I don't know what the right term is for it, onto the platform, to just catch you up. But otherwise, you can see my luxurious face on the YouTube. Anyway, with that in mind, let's get into the show itself and talk about NXT. Of course, this is also the only one of the few British-run dedicated NXT weekly podcasts. Releases every Sunday around 12 midday, and yeah, that's about it really. Now let's talk about NXT. So we have NXT for the 4th of February 2025. That is this year. And my first note on here is we are on the road to Vengeance Day. Only 2 weeks out from it, and Trick Williams again is complaining and whining, as he always is, trying to get into a world title match. So let's see what happens on this week's edition of NXT. There is no filler on this week's edition of NXT, so we're straight into the first match of the night, which is a singles match between Jacy Jayne, along with Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley, and Jasmine Nix, taking on... Oh, my notes I wrote Jacy Jayne versus Jacy Jayne. Professional. No, I wrote it's meant to be Jacy Jayne with Fatal Influence versus Stephanie Vaquer. Vaquer wins with the SVB, which is a package backbreaker. I rated it 3 stars. It was a good opener that didn't do too much to progress anything. It just gave us another Vaquer match where she prepares to take the title, the Women's North America title, from Fallon at Vengeance Day. Jacy came off as an effective foil here, including a nice looking PK on the apron as to Stephanie on the outside, but ultimately coming up short in what was ultimately a tune-up match for Stephanie. So don't be surprised if Fallon has a match next week that is just a tune-up before Vengeance Day. After this, we go backstage. We see Meta-4. They're here and they are confronted by Sol Ruka and Zarya. That is Zaruka now, according to an Instagram post I saw from Sol Ruka. Zarya is on all kinds of smoke right here. She is so quick to throw jabs at Meta-4 for failing in their tag title match against Bianca Belair and Naomi last week on NXT, as well as Lash Legend's failed attempt at the Royal Rumble last at the last PLE, the Royal Rumble, but when she got 0 eliminations. Metaphor are more than willing to apply though, and instantly we'll talk back at Zarya when in come Chemical X, which is the tandem trio of Gigi Dolan, Shotzi, and Tatum Paxley. They take Metaphor's side in the argument. However, Zarya gets in Gigi's face, and Soul plays Peacekeeper and removes Zarya from the situation. After this, we get an interview over me, the current men's NXT World Champion. He says that while Ava runs NXT, he runs what happens in the ring, and he intends to prove that Austin Theory and Grayson Waller do not deserve to be in the same ring as him. And he also says that he owes nothing to Trick Williams, and he'll see him out there. After this, we get a Lexis King promo. He is here, and his drawn-on pencil beard, it looks as weird as ever. He thanks William Regal as a role model, as an icon in his career, and also for showing Lexis who he truly was. He eventually does snap on the crowd, though, and turns on them, talking about his looks and his pedigree, and then he does admit that he is the son of a psycho. And he even refers to, Loose Cannon, which is his dad's old moniker. He says that he won the NXT Heritage Cup Championship because he stayed true to who he was. He says that the trophy's been mistreated for far too long. His first proclamation as champion is that he will change the way the trophy is defended. He says no more rules, no more cornermen, and no more time limits. It'll be one full standard match. After this, we hear some familiar music. It is the return of Fandango. He's back. He reintroduces himself. For those who don't know who he was, he announces that he's actually here as JDC, Johnny Damn Curtis. And he is ripping the system from TNA, and he wants the Heritage Cup. And he gives the trophy a kiss. He declares that he's spoken to Ava, and next week it is confirmed. He will face Lexis King for the Heritage Cup. Lexis replies, and he mispronounces TNA as TMNA, and he's ready to fight against JDC. So next week we're getting that match. After we go into the second match of the night, which is a singles match, as Stax, Channing Lorenzo, is along with Tony D'Angelo, Luca Crucifino, and Adriano Rizzo taking on Ridge Holland, who's by himself because he has no friends. Ridge wins following the Redeemer. I rated the match 2 stars. It was a 3-ish minute encounter that served again as a tune-up match for Ridge as he prepares to face Tony D at whenever it is. It also served as a story plot device to show that Stax perhaps can't handle family business, like they've been alluded to last week. Overall, it was a short match though that never really got going. And we saw interference too from Izzy Dame, which led to nothing really and didn't help Stax at all. So, don't know what's going on there. Backstage now, Fraxium are celebrating their win over the Rascals on TNA TV and are prepared for their upcoming TNA match against the Nimmer Pros. As I said, in come Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura, who are reported sporting their matching leather vests. They talk big and they beat Fraxium. Fraxium deny a challenge from them though, and Sam Business attempt to earn one. After this, we get a tag team match. We get Soulruka and Zarya taking on Chemical X, Tatum Paxley, and Gigi Dolan, who are along with Shotzi. Soulruka wins following a soul snatcher on Gigi. I rated it 1 3/4 stars. I said this before on the podcast. I don't fully understand what is going on with Zarya and her character. We asked this a couple of weeks ago, and there was no real answer until now. And even then, it wasn't much of an answer. It was more questions being asked. Zarya was meant to be the next big thing in the women's division of NXT, and now she just sort of feels like she's been thrown to the sidelines, sort of stuck in limbo in a Franken team along with Soulruka. It's really weird booking and really weird development. I feel like Zarya should have been by herself as a beast destroying women in the roster. But I don't know. The match felt odd too, though. As well, there was a couple of mistimed maneuvers and maybe some miscommunications. It was almost like it hadn't been put together properly, or it was rushed. It was very weird. Not enough time. It didn't really get anything going. After this, we get a interview with Trick Williams. As usual, wah Trick. He's complaining about everything, whining and complaining. That's it. After this, we get the NXT Summit with Bayley, Roxanne Perez, and Julia. But before Julia can even come out, Roxanne wants to talk to Bayley. She talks about herself and also about her eliminating Julia from the Royal Rumble. And then she got the record down for the longest amount of time spent in a single Rumble match. So, congrats to Roxanne Perez. Well deserved. She goes on to talk about Bayley, who got tired of getting her ass kicked on SmackDown, so she went to Raw, and that didn't work either. So she's now on NXT, among the best women's division of all wrestling. Roxanne then compares herself to her 13-year-old self, who'd be freaking out being in the ring with Bayley, but now realises that her idols were just standing in her way. Bayley interrupts her and talks about how she wants to see Roxanne succeed and recounts her own history within NXT. And that Roxanne does not respect any of the history in NXT. She says Roxanne is losing herself and that she may also lose her best friend too as a result of that. So if Bayley was to lose at Vengeance Day, she'll be fine. But will Roxanne be fine? Should she lose? Roxanne's going to talk about that when it comes onto that title, she has no friends, no mentors, and that no one is on her level. She's going to go to Vengeance Day, she's going to win the title, she's going to go to Raw, win that title, go SmackDown, win that title, and then if she vacates the NXT title, then maybe Cora Jade can get a title then. This little shade being thrown at Cora, I didn't fully understand that myself, but we'll see. After this, in comes Junior, who's had enough. She says Roxanne is nothing without the title, and that she'll beat Bayley as well. She also says that nobody will survive the beautiful madness. And as that happens, we then hear the musical one, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair's here. She hot dogs her history of NXT and how she is a 2-time Rumble winner herself. History making. She's losing the crowd. At the first part of this, she loses the crowd, failing to win them, until she starts talking about Roxanne, Julia, and Bayley. She agrees with everything that's been said so far, except that she is better than everyone. She shows up a 4 horsewomen symbol, or something like that. Sorry, that's like that, isn't it? And Bayley returns it, and then says that whatever championship she has to go for, she'll be champion at the end of WrestleMania. After that, Cora Jade appears with a bat. She attacks Bayley and Julia, and she stares at Roxanne before eventually swinging at Roxanne. Roxanne ducks though, however, leaves the title in the ring, and Cora picks it up and poses with the title. After this, we've got a backstage segment with Ethan Page and Javon Evans. Due to Javon's negligent actions over the past few weeks, including going out there when not medically cleared, Ava has no choice but to suspend him. Ethan suggests that instead of that, Ethan suggests a match between the pair of them. Ava agrees with it, as long as Javon can get medically cleared. Also backstage, we see Briggs arranging here a match for himself and Inamura against Hank and Tank. In the same camera shot, Rich is running with the family. He wants Tony D in a true one-on-one match because then he doesn't trust. There we go. He doesn't trust anyone in the current family. Izzy Dame is there too. She suggests a cage match, which Ridge is fine with. I think we're getting an Izzy turn, I think. And more on that tag stuff during the pre-summit walk-in footage when they show the wrestlers walking backstage. You see Inamura talking to the NQCC, so something might come of that. In the 4th and penultimate match of the night, we see a singles match. It is Kalani Jordan taking on Carmen Petrovic. And Kalani wins following 2 split-legged moonsaults and a chicken wing crossface submission. However, that's not all, because the win is then reversed after Kalani refuses to let go of the submission, so Carmen actually wins. I rate this 2 3/4 stars. It was a decent match that I feel perhaps went a bit too long. It was about 10 or 11 minutes, which normally I'd say is a good level of TV matches, but when it's involving someone who isn't really on the same level as Kalani, like Carmen, it actually makes Kalani look weaker if she can't beat her opponent in a shorter time. Jade Parker was here also, and she talked to Kalani, and that led to part of the reason why Kalani was pissed off. Also, when was the last time that we saw a match result get reversed? And I don't mean like a DQ sort of thing. I mean like someone wins clean enough, and then suddenly it's turned because of a personal attack zone. Normally it's just an attack, and that's it. But this had the result actually reversed. After this, we go into an interview with Stephanie Vaquer. Vaquer somehow gets a peaceful interview in the NXT parking lot. She says that nobody can help Fallon, and she'll leave Vengeance Day as champion. As she's talking, we see a load of ice walking behind her and stares at her before walking off. Backstage now, in Ava's office, Bayley wants that bitch. Ava asks, which one? Bayley confirms if she wants Cora Jade. Ava makes the match official for next week. Bayley and Cora Jade. In regards to the tag, in come Briggs and Amora, who both have news. They both arrange for a tag team to face them. Briggs got Hank and Tank, honk honk, and Inamura got the NQCC. There we go. There we go. Better. Ava says, as a team, we've got to work together and agree on these things. However, this is an easy fix, and so that's what we will get in a 3-way tag team match, which I thought was quite fair. We get a pre-match interview next with A Town Down Under. They are about to show why they're the best tag team in WWE. They can't be denied. Grayson says it's going to be a preview for Vengeance Day where he finally wins the world title. Then tensions rise between him and Theory, but are quashed when it's time for the match. And for match 5 and your main event of the show, we got a tag team match. It is A-Town Down Under, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory versus Trick Williams and Overeem. And of course, A-Town Down Under win following a roll through downward spiral on Trick, that is, following an Eddie Thorpe strap whip. I rate this 3 stars. It's a good day. It's a very good day when Trick Williams gets pinned. It was a good tag match, despite one of the team not actually being a team. Oba and Trick do the whole can they coexist angle, and it works for the most part. And up until the end, they got along, and it was ultimately a case of when are they going to break, or when are they going to have tension, or when are they going to fight, etc. And that finally came at the end of the match. It's nature. A-Town Down Under, being the heels here in this scenario, played out well too, because they're just both natural faces that you want to punch. But yeah, the right team won here. So I guess we're not fully on with Trick and Eddie either. So I guess. But we've got to pad Trick's record somehow. So before Stand and Deliver, that's what we're doing. Post match, Eddie continues to whip Trick in the ring with a strap before standing tall to end the show. But wait, there's more. We see another glitch, and this time we see various zoom-ins of body parts. We see someone's chiseled jawline and beard, we see a muscle or two, then finally we get a full cover by shadows and smog, but a full shot of a new group coming soon to NXT. There's 4 of them. One is really obscure bit on the right hand side, those you can't really tell who that is, and one on the left is a dead giveaway, and it is Saquon Sugars, who is back from injury. That was Lucky Ali on the indie scene, for those who are wondering. So I think honestly this could be an up and coming group in NXT, but also a group of NXT level uppers to try and promote Evolve. But yeah, we'll find out soon, and that'll be Avengers Day. So until then, this has been the end of the show. Episode 76. I think it's something like that. And yeah, I've got nothing to say. Everything I've already put at the start of the show anyway. So everything is just there underneath. You can see there's a link tree as well in the description of the video if you can't be able to find the links for stuff. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. It's quite a short one because there's no discussion. It's just me talking to a void. And yeah, enjoy your days. Have good nights and happy Christmas.